All right. First of all, I wanted to apologize to Burger Boy here on YouTube. I don't think he was aware that I recorded our conversation. And secondly, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, Burger Boy or anybody else. Um, I wanted to play this because I just seen people accuse the guy of being a friend of mine or collaborating together, Burger Boy and myself, or some big great scheme to piss off TIs or something like that. I don't know. There's just lots of widespread speculation, and I'm a pretty transparent person. I don't keep a lot of secrets or anything. I don't like to get on the internet to make friends with people either. So it doesn't matter how he's going to take this. I think he's probably a nice guy. I don't know much about Burger Boy, but I do want to let TIs TIs know the kind of person he is. And to me, as an internet user of a long time, the guy kind of alarms me a little bit because he said something that kind of irked me a little bit, that he was a talent scout or something to that degree. I could be misremembering. We'll hear when I start the audio. It was about 42 minutes long. Um, he's like a lot of people on the internet. I want TIs to know this. Having been online so long, I know that there are a lot of people on the internet that just get kicks out of other people's pain, misfortune, and anger. There's a word for it. People use the word troll, and I don't like to use that word. I think it's a dumb word. But there are actual people out there who don't mean what they type, that they just like to laugh at people's pain and misfortune. I do a lot of mocking. I fully admit, you can tell just by my channel. I do. I mock TIs and other people like them. But there's another side of me where I'm willing to actually converse with them, or anybody who's not stable. But a lot of these other people who are genuine trolls they don't care. In fact, it almost sounded like, and you guys will hear it, it almost sounded like he doesn't want you guys to get any kind of help. Because, there's a word for it. It's called Schadenfreude. Let's see if I can spell it. I don't know if I can. Okay.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah, the pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortune. So they're happy to see you, struggling and in pain and shit like that. But anyway, I digress. Just know that I don't think he's any kind of an agent or anything, or whatever you guys are trying to claim the guy to be. He just seems like another person that likes to get his kicks, or possibly, and this is pure speculation, possibly some sort of monetary gain off your guys' misfortune. Although I admit I don't know how that's possible. Maybe advertising revenue. I don't know. I don't see ads, so maybe his channel's got ads on it. Anyway, I linked his channel in the description. Here we go. Nirv Gorilla and Burger Boy. Yellow.
Whoa, can you hear me there, Nirv?
What's up?
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Wait a minute. There's something up with you, dude. And I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to find out.
Well, don't. That's wild. You're the only rational person that has talked to any of the targets that I've followed for 2 years.
Oh, so you're
Don't-
part of
don't-
the okay, I got. So you're one of the part of the gang stalker community. One of those.
No. I'm like, I started watching them 2 years ago. I'm really like, nobody pays attention to them because they're insufferable, like you found, and nobody lasts. And I just like, I gotta contact this guy, so he keeps doing videos on him, because you won't last if you don't know.
So you like when I mock them, you're saying?
I mean, it gives me like a pressure release, because I've been like cataloging and archiving them, and I try not to like directly attack their mental illness, and like, but
okay.
you're like the original directly attack their mental illness, and like, but
okay.
you're like the original, like you sound like the original like internet guy, like you're like going at it from like the look. Like, I was just watching your video when you're the real gang stalking guy, you were like showing him how he deleted your comment.
Yeah, no, I mean that's really important, I think, and that's something I know I've talked to these guys about. I've talked to like 4 or 5 of them now, And they've all been very similar. They'll say things like, yeah, there's this government program where they pay these guys. And I'm like, how do you know? And they never have an answer. They just literally make it up.
It is, and but because these are like absolute, like, okay, how do I say this? What I've tried to figure out is like when they get mentally ill to the extent where they don't, like, you were talking to Abe, and like him, like, he was saying like, wow, I put my shit on airplane mode and I recorded my fridge. I've got to send this to Nirv Gorilla, you know? And like a plane flies over his fucking head and he's like, there you go, Nirv Gorilla, there you go. You like branded your name into his brain.
Well, I thought these guys could be dissuaded from their delusions, but it doesn't. It seems like it's like I mentioned, the Cotard delusion. It's like highly resistant to conflicting data. You know, again, I don't know if I told you this or I mentioned this before, but I saw a video from quote T.I.'s perspective, and he was recording what looked like to me was a random guy. He's like, why are you recording me? And the guy's like, I'm not recording you. He's like, bullshit, I saw you recording me. He's like, here's my phone. Look at it right now. I want you to look at it. He's like, no, I don't want to look at it. Well, you know, the reason why he doesn't want to look at it is because he doesn't want to be proven wrong.
Yep.
Well, what the fuck is with these people? So I just had to make a video right now because even though I've talked about it, I didn't show anything, and I that's my mistake. I felt I needed to give an example what real evidence looks like, convincing data, you know, how you can convince people of your claims. And there's ways to do it on computers and even cell phones. So I thought, I didn't know who the hell you were because I keep seeing the theme of your burger and you come and say, you know, have a great stream. Like you're almost like a cheerleader. I mean, I don't know if you know you're coming
and
across
like, I
that
understand.
way.
So like I work from home and I do a lot of like, I'm online a lot. And so like I subscribe to a lot of channels, and like just for like ease of use, like if I see somebody live that I'm subscribed to, I'll pop in and I'll go like, hello, like, you know, like do that, see what's going on, you know, and nothing against you. You're playing Diablo, you're listening to Phil Hendry, that's fucking badass. I'm not going to stay for a super long time, but because I like the gang stalking shit. You know, I was just checking to see if you're like roasting, honestly, roasting Abe again or something.
No, really, like I constantly put up a little animated picture on my stream. I guess maybe I haven't put it up in a while, but I'm the opposite of streamers, dude. I know I stream, but I'm not a streamer, if you understand. Like, I tell people, don't subscribe, and get out of my life. And I'm not joking around. I don't want to be popular or anything. So anything that reminds me of a streamer in any way, I get kind of pissed about. And I know it's irrational, but I don't want people, you know, cheering me on or like offering money or something stupid like that, you know.
It's like a slippery slope. Even taking a compliment like this, it starts the fucking cycle of like of exchange, right?
Yeah,
like it's like, like me, streamer.
I'd rather have you come on and say, you know, fuck off, you fag, or something like that, and then bail. I think that's better, you know, more interesting. But
well, you'll get a lot of that with these TIs, man. I mean, although I was kind of surprised that they don't want to talk to you.
Well, some do. Some are eager to talk to me, which is weird because, again, I've been online for a long time, and I've been using voice chat for a long time. And how long have you been online? I'm just curious.
Probably since I think I used to, when I was a teenager. I'm about to turn 37. I was in like the old B scene chat rooms. If you remember those.
Oh, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Like text stuff. So like that, like, and I was into like role play, like Vampire the Masquerade, text-based, like long form, like that kind of crap. And I think a friend at school got me and was like, hey, there's people like writing stories online.
Aren't those called MUDs?
This was like, so like think of like in a chat room, it's like live action role play, but you're just chatting. You denote your actions by like, you know, like by putting them in asterisks and like, you know, I walk up to you.
Role playing, chatting, yeah.
Yeah, but then since it was based off that VTM, like Dungeons and Dragons style, like rolling combat system and shit like that, so it was like half play, half like just playing D&D.
You know, slaps on chainmail vests and rotates over.
yeah. But gay vampire shit.
Right. Yeah, well, I was gonna say real quick, I've been using voice chat
for a long time. Yeah.
So I've been using voice chat for a long time. That screenshot I took in 1999, that's iParty, one of the first VoIP clients ever. Before Discord, before Skype, before even ICQ, there was iParty. And it didn't even have real-time voice chat like we have right now, or like a telephone call. You had to push a button to talk, and then it would fill up this buffer bar, and then when you let go of your chat button, the buffer would start playing, and you would hear what other people had said while you were talking or whatever.
Oh.
So it wasn't even real time, but it was the first voice chat I've ever used. And I was using that in '97, and I talked to this Australian guy. I'll never forget. Like, it was awesome to speak internationally for free for the first time ever. I mean, it would usually cost money, very expensive long distance charges back then on the phone. So I've always loved voice chat, and I've been using it for so long. But as time went on and cell phones became more popular, oddly enough, fewer and fewer people want to use voice chat, especially if they know ahead of time that the person doesn't agree with them. So I would say it used to be about 80% rejected in the maybe 2000s, 2005, whatever. I'd say about like 80% rejected a voice call, but a lot of them actually did accept it. Because everybody had like Roger Wilco and Skype and Battlecom. They already had the programs, you know? Mm-hmm. But now it's like, as cell phones and shit become more popular, and there's even more ways to communicate online, fewer people are willing to do it. They love their keyboards. These last two generations just love keyboards. They hate real-time communication. So oddly enough, these like 5 of these guys, these Gangstalker guys already, hey, interview me next. You know? It's like almost like not their TIs, they're more like AIs. They're abandoned individuals.
It is, dude. It is. I mean, to even like to further live with that, it's just like they are like, it's like a mind virus. Like they act the same, they talk the same. I mean, it's rough. It's sad. I mean, from a mental health perspective, that's what gets me into it. It's pretty sad.
Well, earlier today on my stream, my first stream after I came back home from work, I think I just randomly loaded up Windows XP, the old operating system, which I had old Encarta 2005 on it. I loaded that sucker up, and I typed in schizophrenic, and I started to read the article in there about schizophrenia, and you're basically reading about these guys.
Yeah.
So it's essentially, it looks like but dude, I've talked to worse people though. Like, I talked to a guy less than a year ago who honestly fucking said with a straight, and I have the recording, it's on my YouTube channel actually, it's unlisted, a lot of my videos are unlisted, but I talked to this guy, I met him in World of Warcraft, he jumped in voice, and he was, for some reason, he was telling me that when he goes to Twitch streams and he watches people, they can hear him through his microphone. That'd be like saying, if you came to my stream, I could hear your mic. No, I fucking can't. He was literally saying this shit, and like he was serious, he wasn't messing around. He didn't even know I was still streaming. He didn't know, because he didn't even know I was streaming. He met me in WoW, not on my stream. So I told him to share his screen in Discord, and he did. And I got that recorded too. And I said, show me where, because he was saying when he goes into these Twitch streams, their facial expressions change, and he could tell that they can hear him. I said, all right, show me, give me, and he went in there, and before he even clicked the stream, all the still images that are there, just the still screenshots of all the streams you can click, he said, there they are right there. And I'm like, what? You didn't even click a stream yet. It's just still pictures, man. Oh my god, dude, the people are nuts.
Hard. I mean, it's almost like before their actual thought. It's very ingrained. There's no way, and you can't escape it.
And what's worse is that he said not only can they hear his microphone, but if he goes to the bathroom, they could still hear him somehow.
Oh wow!
How?
And and that's where the gap. That's why they cling to a lot of like seminal work from like Dr. Robert Duncan, who was like the one guy that like said like, what if you ever look up some of this shit that he said, you'll hear it. You'll hear all the people you've talked to so far in what he said. There's only a couple like science-y, YMC kind of things that they cling to, but the rest of it, like they talk about like the Monarch program and like other kind of like black site shit, but there really isn't any kind of not that like conspiracy shit doesn't happen or whatever. I mean, it would be more compelling if this was like more like the Philadelphia experiment or like the Dulce base or something. That would actually be more entertaining. But like you're saying, when you walk them down the road, they'll just flat out say, "Oh no, it's something. It just works that way. I don't know how."
I don't know if I made it public, but one thing I said to Abe in a subsequent conversation with him, and I think it was a time when I was really fucking yelling at him because I was pissed, man. I was fed up with these fucking people. Yeah. I was like, dude, I will take you. I said, get a. Do you know what I said? Do you know what a Nikon P1000 is? It's like a camera with a huge zoom. You can zoom into the moon and shit. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called a Nikon P1000. There's a few cameras that have a large optical zoom. So, you know, you maintain pretty damn good quality zooming in. I said, this guy was sitting there saying that most of these fucking planes that are flying near him are automated, right? And I said, oh, okay. Well, let's use like flight radar or something on the internet to find out where these planes are you know, where they're coming from, and we'll drive over to the airport. A lot of people do that as a hobby. They go in airport watch. They watch, you know, aeronautics and, you know, space related shit or flights and stuff like this. So you can go there, take a big camera that zooms, and you could zoom in on the cockpit. And I said, you know what you won't see? You won't see mannequins wearing fucking fedoras, asshole. They're going to be people in those cockpits. Yeah, people. And he didn't say shit. So I don't know how much more time I'm going to spend on this shit, dude. It's pretty exhausting, but I'm not sure how else to do. I'm not a doctor, obviously. I'm just some dude. But I've read books about the brain. I've read books about, you know, mental health. I do my own research on crime and criminology, and so I kind of understand why people do the things they do. But I cannot. It just seems like they lack hobbies and they're bored or abandoned or something. You know, if these guys,
it's got something to do with like maybe not television, but like the YouTube or this kind of media used as like the amount, like these people raised on television or raised on YouTube, and when they have these symptoms, man, I think that they just rush to Google, they rush to YouTube, just like they would any other situation in their life to try to figure something out, learn a little bit more, and they just find this shit instantly. And I don't know. I mean, that doesn't solve how it started, but like that's the process I've seen people go through. Like I'll subscribe to people that comment on these videos and wait months or even a year or two, and then they'll start pumping out the same videos. And to your point, it must be because they're bored. There's a combination of that, but they're already in this sphere somehow of entertainment, like watching.
I've never seen, and then any of them actually have any real hobbies. Like I've never seen a guy talk about radio controlled cars or trains or even stamp collecting or anything.
Racquetball, anything physical, like hiking.
They're just fucking like
that's interesting.
Yeah. Nothing, dude. Like I've got so many I'm just juggling hobbies. I don't have time to fucking look at people when I'm outside.
There's one thing that you said to Abe that would help him. And it's what I think I've only heard that helps. There's a YouTube channel called Dr. De Facto Gang Stalking. He had a better name for it, but they all have stupid fucking names. And he doesn't show cam, he just speaks. And his whole thing is that the camera system. Like if they set up the camera system, then they're going to be happier. Now he believes in this shit. But
you mean a still camera or what?
Yeah. Like, well, it's just like have cameras. And then, because a lot of these people straight up just believe that, like, when they're out of their house or when they're asleep,
yeah, I mentioned that.
Going in their house. He told you about the soccer ball.
Yeah,
yeah. Fucking time, dude.
Well, I mean, actually, honestly, hey, it's actually not that funny because I actually set something kind of up like that myself, but it was for my aunt. I lived with my aunt, and she was going into my room and stealing my money. So I put like a scarf in the doorway in a certain way, and
well, yeah, and like, but to me, like, okay, how about like a piece of tape or something? Yeah, okay, so you use a scarf. Yeah. I'm not mocking the idea that you could like use it, but like he wouldn't. Abe thinks like Abe considers himself to be like the top TI, right? Most savvy, smartest.
I think I took him down. I honestly, dude, I kind of feel bad. I think I took him down a notch from that.
You fucked him up.
Because he went and fucking deleted a lot of his videos and shit.
Well,
I'm telling you, it's not him personally. It's their fucking broken brains. Really, I know it sounds weird to separate it, but when you have a diseased brain, because dude, you can't a lot of times control your thoughts, but you can control your actions. That's why I separate the two slightly, you know, where like my brain's trying to have this stupid idea all the time, but fuck you, brain, get the fuck out of here, you know? It's like, so I was more to like yelling at his brain, stop, you know, snap out of it. You know, like there was a Phil Henry bit about that. Snap out of it. And like Bobby Dooley went and like took some of these medications from them and just told them to just snap out of their fucking mental health issue. Snap out of it,
Well,
you know?
that lack and that lack of like ability to set up like mental barriers in a temporary way, even to just say to yourself, hey, I need a third party perspective on my own cognition. I need to think about what I'm thinking about. Abe is not going to reach that because and he says it to himself. I mean, he's on paper for whatever the fuck mental illness, and now those barriers, even in his own daily perception, are soft as fuck. I mean, you called it out. I mean, they all have like some kind of like fucking I don't know if it's tinnitus or whatever, but like the beginning stages of this shit, obviously, like all kinds of schizoaffective disorders, is that tinnitus shit. It's the hearing, the thrumming, and like when he's sitting next to his fridge and hearing the clicks and stuff that he recorded them for you. I bet you're never going to get that recording because when he plays it back, they won't be on there.
Mm.
Like he's probably hearing his fridge like do all kinds of shit.
Well, even if it does, I mean, there's other explanations, you know? It's like shit fucks up sometimes.
The plane stuff's the best. Like, it has to be. It can't be that he lives near something. It can't be that, like, this is like, and I think you pointed this out. It was like, at this point in human history, we probably have more planes than ever.
Yeah.
You know, so like you're more than likely to have a plane.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you kind of just passively watch the stuff instead of going after any of these people, you know?
So it is like, in full disclosure, like I'm kind of, I wouldn't say like I'm like a talent scout, but I'm the co-host of like a semi-popular kind of like underground show about weird people online. And so like we don't have a name for it. It's just me and this other guy, Marty. And we find people and people find us and people give us. And my side project is just like, the gang stalking thing appealed to me a couple years ago. Most recently, my dad was passing away here at home and I had to do his hospice care of my mother. And I needed something to do. And so I started archiving. I started learning how to like do video editing and just kind of just like you were saying, like putting, trying to figure out, always have something going on. It was just one of the things I was doing. And I ended up, I think I have like 1,000 videos now. And it fucks me up how many they're out there. Maybe you should bail out now because like going back maybe like 10, like since the beginning of YouTube pretty much. Yeah. And it goes in phases.
Actually, dude, I have a really weird ass video that I never put on YouTube, but I got it some years back. It's a woman who she was recording herself leaving work. This must have been the early 2000s, I think. One of the videos was something called like On My Life or something like that. It was a black woman and she looked like she left work early and she said she was talking to the camera. She wasn't looking at the camera. She was looking wherever she was driving or whatever. She basically said, I had to leave work early because they started the electronics attack on me again and my teeth popped out. And I'm like, what the fuck? She was saying this weird ass shit and I could not find the video anywhere else after that. And to this day, I looked again, but I have the video on a Blu-ray disc somewhere behind me. And, cause I've archived crap since the 90s and shit. Like I saved so much shit. But I was thinking about maybe re-uploading because it's not, mental instability like this is not new to our species or anything, but it's just, they all have a podium now. They have a voice now, whereas they didn't have a fucking microphone to sit in front of back in the day, really, until all this digital shit started coming out, digital cameras and whatever. And now it just seems like, that's kind of why I'm an introvert, teeter, and misanthrope, is because a lot of people are just not mentally healthy. But see, why I ask why you don't really go after it, because maybe it doesn't bother you, but I see this as it might start off benign and harmless, but it seems to get worse. And they seem to start yelling at people and assault.
Yeah. And if you want, not for nothing. I wasn't following him actively at the time, but there's a man named Steve Grogan who shot and killed his fucking mailman. I think in Georgia. And I'd watched a couple of his videos. And this guy, I mean, if you had talked to this guy, maybe you could have gotten through to him. But I mean, his science shit, quote unquote, was so bafflingly retarded. I mean, you would blow your top. But like, it didn't seem like anything beyond that. But then when I go back and I go, man, that one video where he like drove up to his neighbor's house, who also happened to be the sheriff, and like cussed him and said crazy shit. Like,
Yeah.
it kind of makes you think, oh, well, they knew about him. It should have been fine.
No.
But then they didn't really know because they weren't really watching probably the rest of his videos. And like,
Yeah.
and there was a guy in Colorado maybe like a year and a half ago that shot up a supermarket and called them all gang stalkers.
Oh,
there's a woman right now that I follow. She's in Colorado, and she actively talks about making Molotov cocktails to kill people, and that she really wants to get a gun.
Oh my God,
it's tough, man.
No, I'm
in deep waters of YouTube already most of the time, and my people don't touch this stuff. This is like my little fucking aside in my circles. So it's nice to even just to hear somebody say, yeah, it does bother me, but nobody gives a shit, man, because there's so much of it. Anybody I show it to, like my whole channel is like to try to make it a little more appealing, like to look at maybe so people get into it. But then to what end, I don't know. Most people just end up mocking them, but at least they're paying attention. So then I think like maybe trolls will actually call the cops if this bitch actually like, because she goes live. And one day she's going to go live with a fucking like Molotov in her hand.
Well, see, but I care about mental health and shit because it can hurt innocent people if we.
Yes.
Everybody always asks, "Wow, he was such a great guy. I would have never guessed he had lampshades made out of people's flesh in his living room." Well, you could see all the red flags. For me, it starts way further back. As soon as you deny a fact, like my red flags are going, dude. Like if you start saying the earth is flat or evolution is false or we didn't go to the moon or 9/11 was an inside job or the Holocaust didn't happen or vaccines are fake and like all those things, they add up and they only get worse over fucking time. They never get better. Like people are, once they're gone, dude, they generally don't turn it around. I did. When I was younger, I used a Ouija board thinking I could contact the dead. I was a pretty credulous idiot, you know? But I turned it around because it was pretty benign, you know. I thought God was real. Then I started doing research and I started reading books. I turned it around before it could have gotten worse, you know. Your psychosis gets worse over time, and I'm sick of people on the news. Oh God, he was so great. I just so surprised he fucking shut a children's orphanage and burned it, you know, burned everybody alive. Well, all the red flags, you go back and look at their videos, you go back and look at anything that they wrote, it's like all the red flags are right fucking there. The guy was chanting, like putting on Indian costume and chanting or whatever, you know?
Or more nuance. Okay, here's the thing. A very particular part of, if we're going to call this like the gang stalking psychosis or gang stalking belief, is that the people around you quickly become part of this program. So everybody is guilty. And so once these people percolate to like a certain level, they have no other route but to murder everyone. Because everyone has been like doing the worst shit. I mean, if you put themselves in, you get it. You get it. Like there's no, and that's the tragedy. That's the utter tragedy that I have not been able to get anybody to pay attention to in like maybe a year and a half or so. Is that like, not that I'm doing a great job or anything, or I'm like, you know, like you got other shit going on. But like, I don't know. I just wish I could find somebody with a bigger platform that could like have an answer, but then there is no fucking answer because it's mental health. But then maybe if it's seen as a particular mental health crisis, something could happen.
Dude, I've been doing this shit for years. I have been taking people aside one-on-one and fucking grabbing a figurative fistful of their shirt and straightening them the fuck out for years, dude. And it actually is effective, you know, because it's like psychologists book appointments with their patients one-on-one. They don't do it publicly in front of everybody, right?
Well, true, yeah.
Because people aren't going to fucking change in front of an audience usually. Hold on a second. So that's what I've been doing, and it's actually really effective. And sometimes you got to bring facts. Sometimes you actually have to use insults. As odd as that sounds, a lot of people think that nobody changes their mind when you insult them. That's not fucking true at all. Sometimes you have to use any tool or utility on your belt to get people into the right direction. I've gotten people to fucking stop prank calling Pizza Hut and shit like that and wasting their time and money just by confronting them in voice chat. I've got people, there was this one autistic kid who could not make a character in World of Warcraft. His autistic brain kept automatically deleting it for some reason. He made a forum post and was like, "Hey guys, can one of you log into my account and make a character for me? Because it just keeps deleting it, my brain." You know, it's like, I got that dude in voice that said, first of all, don't ever give your account information to anybody. You can get banned for that. And I basically, iron fisted him to make an account. Make an account right now, asshole. Up! I said to make an account. don't touch that delete button, fag. You know, I basically spoke to him that way, and it worked. It worked. He was able to make a character and not delete it, just from my direction. Not even me having to log in. Because he was scared now that he could lose his account, which would be worse.
I love the approach, and now I'm glad to have a little bit more understanding of the tone. You know, it wasn't hard though. I mean, if you're playing Phil Hendry, I understand that you like. There's a lot of layers there already, right? So
yeah. No, I mean, if more people did this shit, it could actually, as cliche as it sounds, it could make the world a better place. You know, taking people aside, verbally kicking their ass, and straight. No, you're not gonna collect guns and fucking threaten people, asshole. You know, keeping people in check. You know. So you know, obviously, I've had people delete their entire YouTube channels before on shit. I didn't even prompt them to do that. Like there was one guy, real quick story. I got to go to sleep here in a minute, but he was making all these emulation videos about Super Nintendo and Genesis and all these old arcade games and shit. And almost every video he made had misinformation in it. And I basically had to trick him to get invoiced because he fucking deleted my comments and was all this shit. So the next day after I talked to him, his account was totally gone. That's not what I wanted. You know, I was just trying to direct him into making videos that were more accurate and truthful. But instead of doing that, he just fucking deleted it. I was like, I kind of felt bad. It's not what I asked him to do or anything. But I mean, people surprisingly make sweeping changes just from a conversation, even with somebody they don't know. Like that guy, he went and deleted shit. I didn't ask him to do that. He just went and did it on his own. So yeah, there's more dangerous people than Abe. You know, Abe seems pretty benign, but he almost did commit suicide. I don't know if you know this. He deleted one of his videos, which I saved in my hard drive before he deleted it. I don't know if you know how to do that. Do you?
I don't actually.
You don't know how to download videos?
I mean, I just use this app. I mean, look, I'm going to get it from you like left and right, I'm sure, on a lot of things.
No, it's fine, but I mean,
kind of guy you are. But well, I use let me.
Oh, okay.
I just use like this downloader thing, and if
4K?
it's privated or if it's downloaded, yeah. I just use
4K video downloader.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I used to use.
And I paid for it, so just you can yell at me.
Oh my!
An hour
Christ.
later, I know. Don't. Dude, I listen to your rant. I'm not like, but like, look, let's put that on the shelf for a second.
There you go. That's the answer right there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Thank
free.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the command is yt dlp.exe fb that's just one of the commands. There's several others where you can download an entire channel with one line. You go to sleep, you wake up, and you'll have the whole channel on your hard drive.
That's awesome. That's very useful.
Yeah, that's it's not an interface. It uses the command line, so it doesn't have clicky interfaces, which some people don't like. But it's actually way more powerful than any interface for downloading videos. But anyway, I downloaded one of Abe's videos, and it kind of made me a little sad because he was talking about offing himself. He was literally talking about suicide, dude, and I'd rather not have him do that. But I put the miracle on my second channel.
Just as a point, the atheist ones get a little darker, a little faster. I'll say that. You know,
I haven't heard about that.
Just like in the targeted individual community, you can see. I don't know if you've seen a lot of them have like it. However, they explain what's going on. It seems like the ones that they don't believe in it, the spiritual aspect. Get up like when they believe that it's like demons, then they don't like attack the people. Does that make sense? Because like. Then they understand it's like some kind of it's a network of deception from thousands of years, and it's like so they're like satiate like, and also the alien abduction lady inversely, because she believes that they're aliens or like reptile or archons or whatever it is, she wants to kill them because she believes that like they're just like she's surrounded by non-human entities, and that like drops her level. Like it's weird. It's but anyway. However it stops them from hurting people, I don't care. But like just from
maybe not necessarily. You never know though. I mean, you don't. Even if they say that, you never know though, because a lot of fucking killers have mentioned that they've done it because they heard, God told them to, or God told them to rid the world of Satan or whatever. You know?
Oh, sure.
Okay, well. Are you on your way out or something? But anyway, like
No, I left the jug outside while I was mowing.
I think it's a more serious issue than people make it out to be. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing guys that are in real time. Like a lot of it is, like I said, not only the lack of hobbies, but lack of knowledge about how things work. They almost seem to look at the internet as television. Like some of these guys are explaining things almost in a morphing sense. Like I was on TikTok and it turned into the deep web or the dark web. And I'm like, that's not even fucking possible.
Yes. Okay. The morphing. Okay. So like, that's a really good term because that's how they are perceiving reality. And you know, if you ever like put on those like, or seen like the videos of like what it's like to be a schizophrenic, it must be like
the
that
rats appear and shit.
Yeah, I've heard, but like the blending of like the way you can hear it in the way some of them speak, and Abe does it too, where it is just kind of like, and then poof, it was this then.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, go back, and you try to draw them back, and there isn't really like a finite a point where they go, oh, and then this happened. I was on TikTok, and then all of a sudden someone contacted me with a link, and I went to the dark web. It was more like it was more specific than that. Yeah,
see, and that one guy who talked about that today, he ended up banning me, of course, from his channel. I didn't know he did, and he's not responding to me on Facebook anymore. So that was the guy who was scared to utter the word Freemason. He was scared to utter it because he said,
so good.
"Hey, can you hear me?"
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, I hit my microphone. It sometimes unplugs. I was talking to him on Facebook one night during a quick break from work, so I didn't have a lot of time to talk to him. And he said, I wanted to talk about something else, but I'm kind of afraid to talk about it. I was like, what is it? What, secret societies or something? He goes, well, kind of. He didn't say it exactly. So what? I said, what, like the Bilderbergs? He said, no. I said, well, the John Birch Society? No. I said, well, how about the Freemasons? He said, ding, ding, ding. That's what he said. I was like, okay, well, what about them? He goes, man, I want to talk about it, but I'm scared. And like, things will start happening if you start talking. Like, bring it. That's why I named the video. Freemasons can suck my, you know what, or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
and then I said, nothing's going to happen. I'm still, and I jokingly, I think in the description or something, I said, they're not going to do, you know, like I just got killed while mid-sentence or something. But obviously nothing happened. I'm still here. Wow. Freemasons are fucking benign, like the KKK.
Unless you've been like replaced by like some kind of reptoid clone or something, you know, poured out and replaced by a demon. There's a lot of different ways.
I'm using Hendry to really mock some of these guys because Hendry's covered a lot of this material. And in fact, Chris Norton's talked about cloning and shit. And I think maybe I should do that next. The cloning angle. My clone will never go out with your clone. Yeah. I don't know. I've talked again to Abe today, actually, I think, or was it yesterday? Yeah. I don't know. He seems kind of withdrawn a little bit, but he's still agreeing with this shit that these people are saying. And I'm like, dude, everything he said in that video was fucking bullcrap. The dark web type thing. And this guy is just like the way he's talking and the vocal fry with the real and T.I. or whatever his name is. He always does the vocal fry. It's like bitching. And so
it's like listening to NPR.
He's like a younger dude, and it seems like his ideas are so far-fetched that he is almost doing it for fame. Because he keeps talking about, I got clout on TikTok. And I said, dude, that's like fucking saying I got hit on by a gay dude at a gay bar. That's not something you should be proud of. You're getting clout on TikTok. Yeah. Jesus. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you're a straight dude and you're getting hit, like, it's not something you want to be proud of or anything. And
and also, as far as I know, all that shit's just like made up. Like, it's all inflated. The numbers are. I mean, this is specifically just to like make people feel like make everybody a little creator. And then and then they become like it's less. It's they get more attention that way, you know.
Well, that's a whole different philosophy I have. I'm a big fan of the internet being free in the Wild West and a source of information and not commercialization. And so I get pretty nuts about stuff. I talk about piracy all the time, and I show people how to download. And I show people how to do their own crap without shelling out cash. But they're just so eager to give their money away. It's just, I saw a screenshot from Abe's phone, and I saw the word VPN, and I got pissed. Tony Hawk could have done stunts off the veins in my forehead when I saw that shit. That's why I called him today. I said, dude, do you have a VPN, you motherfucker? You better disable that right now. He's like, no, I just had a trial or whatever. So I said, okay, good. I said, you could be anonymous without fucking shell. You don't need a VPN, man. Give me a break. So I have my own philosophies about that. But I try to be fucking healthy about shit. Like, these guys are easy, though. I have to tell you, man. Like, of all the people that I've went after on the internet, these guys are the easiest. They're just sort of falling down at this point. I got the tards on the run, like I said.
I can't wait. I'm real glad to have had this time to talk to you about it too, and I hope you do more. I really do. But if you don't, I'm excited to have a new.
But it's so easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like
Well, you hadn't met them all yet. They're not all, and they're kind of like in that. Some of them like absolutely like they have like they go live. I can send you a couple of the ones that go live. They go live. They have open panels, and that's
I need to call them one-on-one. A lot of them don't even have VoIP ready to go though, like Discord or anything.
Well, they do StreamYards.
What the fuck is
that?
This
is YouTube land. This is YouTube land. Yeah.
What's StreamYard? That's an
StreamYard's just a little duck. It's the duck.
Yeah, I saw the stupid watermark, but
yeah, it's fucking stupid. Yeah.
Well, I downloaded a pirated version of Streamlabs, I think it was. And there was no watermark for me.
The streaming software, yeah.
That's right. These guys just don't understand this place, They really do. I think they think it's television or something. That it's like I said, it's not the Wizard of Oz. It's not fucking, We're off to see the wizard, man. And you can't do shit that's not physically possible on the internet. It still is, as dynamic as the internet has become over the years, it's still a fairly static place, Websites don't just morph in front of you, It's not television.
And not just that. I mean, I'll introduce you to a guy named I can just give you his channel name. Kevin Christensen. He's the one with like the 3,000. Yeah, he's got like the 3,000 videos. I mean, he literally feels like in a nutshell. Somebody from his past got a hold of covert technology that can remote neural monitor people in real time. Like you put on a VR headset, and now you're in a VR world where you're like becoming the person or whoever you want.
I have a question for
him every day, and that's it. That's 3,000 videos and 8 years of that.
I have a question for that fucker then. If they could just pipe right into your brain, why do all these websites ask you to enable cookies then?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't think, a lot of the bigger guys, I'm guessing, would not take an interview. Though a lot of the bigger ones are generally pretty gutless. There's only one. Yeah. Pretty light in the pants.
Yeah. And
I keep telling people, if you fucking can't back up the shit, the swill you spill on the internet in voice, don't even fucking type it. Don't spread misinformation unless you can withstand scrutiny. Most people can't. Oh God, what the fuck is that? It's all fun and games until the gunshots start fucking blasting.
I mean, he's probably, you've got him. He's the second most high.
So you're a talent agent. You think these guys are talented? I don't know a single YouTuber that has any skills or talents or is genuinely funny. I can't. They all to me look like ex-Walmart employees willing to do anything for a buck.
And I wouldn't. I mean, to say talent agent, I mean, I walk around the gutter and I look for people that are having like a fucking freak out or a problem or can't resist bait, and I present them to a small community of people where like that person is like whatever weird shit that they're into gets promoted on the show, just as a cost of of interaction with them. And most of them are just so happy to be obliterated, it doesn't even matter. And it's just like trolls. But sometimes it's very entertaining. Sometimes the people are more interesting than the people trying to fuck their shit up. Which I prefer. Where is this guy here? Anyway, you've got the long and short. I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but I really appreciate the mentality. You seem like a cool guy.
I don't know how you have. If you get, I don't know how you have the patience for these guys. They all look like carbon copies of each other. They all sound the same, and
Well, the interesting thing about Brian too that I just sent you is he's been globetrotting for the last couple of years. He's been in Milan. He's been in Sweden. Now he's in New York, going through their system, and he just exists on the systems of care
and details it through just his litany of insane shit. And you can just see in the eyes of every medical worker that he records in different countries now, in different languages, the sheer impatience and pain of having to deal with him.
Jesus.
You'll love that. You'll love it.
There was a nurse that called the Phil Hendry show one night and essentially made somewhat of a veiled threat that she has the power to basically unplug your fucking tubes and you're pretty much done. It almost sounds like she's done it before. So, as much as we like nurses and shit, I mean, you piss them off enough and they, next thing you know, flatline.
Well, that's the whole thing of like, what was the threat in the movie Fight Club was like, we're your garbage keeper, like telling the people that like we're all the people that you depend on. You don't want to fuck with us. Yeah, that's like the medical industry version of that.
Right. Yeah, so I go in there. I'm respectful, man. I'm not going in there talking shit to these guys. Jesus. All right, man. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'll talk to you later, man.
Hey, good talking to you, man. Thanks for talking.
Man. Yep. See you.